From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE, direct from Santa Monica, California, with your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. The breaking news is that a House deal will be done, and that vote would happen as early as today or tomorrow, with the vote now going to the finish line, and we will be done with the House of Representatives, whether or not we have a Congressional Budget Office report. This incredible recon will pay you an enormous sums of money. Over $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks. I go over how you get this incredible sums of money in this fourth stimulus updated 2021. But the great news is you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law, because third stimulus already is law, and that third stimulus is paying big sums of money across the board. And that third stimulus money is available right now, with checks about $45,000 being paid out right this moment over the last few months to viewers of this channel. On average, viewers have gotten $45,000, and in this recording, you're going to learn how to get these incredible sums of money. We're going to be turning also to that COLA raise, that 5.9% that is coming in January, and that will be followed up by this stimulus as well. We'll be turning over to some student loan debt forgiveness, which is very important because an additional round of $10,000 could be forgiven across the board. And then we're going to be talking about the thing that everyone is speaking across the country, the scandal, the controversy, the matter that everyone is speaking about, the big surprise as everyone was wondering what is going on with Frame Wars. Frame Wars is heating up in a big recording today, and I have all those details and more as we go into a big afternoon, and the excitement starts right here, right now, on a huge afternoon. I'm excited you're here, because this, my friends, is LA, and I don't have frames on today. I don't have frames on today. Bernie, get the $900 reoccurring Fendi frames right now, and this is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. And here we go. We have a deal done in the House of Representatives with the vote on the recon. Fourth stimulus recon happening as early as today, if not tomorrow. The vote will be solidified and we'll be done with the House of Representatives completely. Off to the Senate we go. With that Congressional Budget Office report, the recon force will pay you an enormous amount of money, upwards of $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks. I'm going to show you how to get these enormous sums of money in this recording. But the great news, as we go into a big afternoon, is you do not have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law to pay your bills, because your bills can be paid right now with third stimulus, which has paid viewers on average about $45,000 across all these incredible programs. I'm going to show you how to get these big sums of money in this recording. We'll be turning to that COLA raise, the incredible money that comes with this stimulus right thereafter. And then we'll be turning to some student loan debt forgiveness, those details and more as we go into a big afternoon's broadcast. I'm excited you're here, and away we go. And my friends, welcome if you just found this. This is LA, America's most talked about financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, Tate in the afternoons. Coming up next is Evenings LA, a big, bold show tonight, and I'm going to be with you with the breaking news. Then we have shows at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11:30 tonight. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record, and 150 million views in a year and a half. Like this video and consider becoming a member. You have found the best channel of this kind, the only channel of its kind in the United States, the #3 financial news channel that delivers all the money that you can get under these incredible recons. The fourth stimulus and the third stimulus and the fifth stimulus will be covered in this video. I'm going to first go over the fourth stimulus that's going to pay you on average about $15,000. We're going to go over each of these clusters of checks one at a time. And then we're going to go back to the voting process. Then we're going to go over the check individually. And then over to third stimulus that is paying viewers out money this week. paid out last week, paid out the last few months, and it's a huge amount of money, average of $45,000. But let's first start with the average $15,000 of checks that are coming to you in fourth stimulus. These are astronomical checks. This is the biggest payout you ever see in the history of this channel, and it starts right now across 3 clusters and 2 add-ons with a potential 3rd add-on. That's about $15,000 of checks. And here we go. Let's go to the first round of checks. First cluster, hazard pay. That is that earned income tax credit for 1 more year, and that is for a back-end check. $4,000 of elder care front-end check, $4,000 of care for young children front-end check. The Pell Grant, $550 checks front-end. And then they got in there the home repairs if you live in a low-income community front-end checks. They got in there the CTC child tax credit for 1 more year front-end check, $3,600. And then they got in there $12,500 for the purchase price of a new electric vehicle back-end checks. That's great. All those checks are incredible in the first cluster. Some find interesting to you. Stay with me. I'm going to show you how to get them later in this video. The first add-on is coming from Maxine Waters, and what is it for? Free money to go buy a house. Excuse me? Free money to go buy a house? Who came up with this? Maxine Waters is, and it's absolutely incredible. They're going to give you free money for the purchase price of your first home. She wanted $25,000. It's going to be a little bit less. How do you get this money? I'm going to show you later in this video. Let's go to the second cluster checks. Second cluster checks has more home repairs, paid leave, front-end checks. The pre-kindergarten front-end checks, then the household tax credit back-end checks. But really the best one in that cluster is the weatherizing your home check. You need to weatherize your home. Did you go on social media overnight? You did. I saw you there. And guess what? There was another video of Joe Manchin driving that horrible color of a Maserati. It's just, I don't think he's in the Senate anymore. I think he's just driving around in that Maserati. So you need to weatherize your home if you see that car coming up the street. Quickly weatherize the home. Don't let him in. You know what that Maserati drives on? It doesn't drive on gas or electric fuel. It drives on coal, West Virginia coal. So there we go. Let's go to the second add-on of checks, and it comes from the wonderful Bob Casey, senator from Pennsylvania, and he got it in there. He wanted $250 billion. He didn't get that price tag. He got a little bit less. And what is it? It is free home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities. Wow, it's incredible. More about that coming up in a second. Let's go to the third add-on of checks, and here we go. Third add-on of checks is deliciousness. They got in there money for free school meals for all checks. Cheaper prescription medication, immigration reform got in there. Farmers got in there. Free internet maybe got in there. The workers maybe got in there, independent contractor. And then the dental, vision, and hearing and the eligibility age. Let's go over that right now. House and Senate and House. For a bill to become a law, it has to pass the House and has to pass the Senate and be signed by the President. Well, the bill being passed by the House today or this week will have in there, in this category, a hearing and the Medicaid gap states. So 2 provisions. Over on the Senate, Bernie represents, he's going to put 3 more in there. Lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, the dental, and also the vision. A lot more checks, which tees us up for the third add-on, and that is monthly or multiple IRS stimulus checks. It is those Democratic senators who have represented the viewers of this channel over the last few months that they're going to insert that MSC across the board. Lynn Glenn has been a longtime viewer. Since almost day one, and she advocates a lot. And she advocated this week and called up one of those 6 senators. And their offices said, yeah, they're still putting at least 1 stimulus check in there. What is this stimulus check? How does it work? What are the nuances of it? The last time we heard from the senators, they were talking about $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. That would be 6 checks. And that would be the same eligibility as third stimulus. Single individual, $75,000 or less, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, they would give it to you. Then if you're or family of 4, up to 4 checks. Adult dependents, SSI, and SSDI. Not in the House bill. So the senators still have to add it to the legislation. They represent, they will. And the 6 senators are the 2 C's, the 2 W's, and the 2 S's. You need to advocate because everyone is advocating for their own provision, whether it is Joe Manchin and Maserati aid, whether it's that person who was in the live chat this morning say, I want custom van conversions in the stimulus package. Oh, that's really fascinating. The custom van conversion provision. Yeah. So you need to advocate for that MSC. And that's the 6 phone calls you need to make. Separate from 2 per day. Do 2 per day. Do the C's on Monday, Casey Coons. Do the W's on Tuesday, Warren Wyden. And the S's on Wednesday, Schumer and Sanders. But what's important for you to understand is that you also need to dedicate some time to yourself to go get third stimulus, because guess what? Third stimulus is still paying out an enormous sum of money. $45,000 is the average that's paid out across the channel to a viewer of this channel. And that money is available right now. So don't be waiting around for MSCs to pay your bills for rent, utilities, mortgage, assistance, food, internet, more. Get it right today. How? Stay with me. It's coming up after the commercial break. I'm going to show you how to get your bills paid today. We're not going to wait around for anything for fourth stimulus. We're going to get money right now. Not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. Even if a House deal is going to be done this week, and it is, and then incredible details that a voting process is happening. The voting process is happening with or without a Congressional Budget Office report, and the moderate Democrats are on board. The fourth stimulus recon, following this third stimulus recon, will pay about $15,000 across all these incredible classes of checks. And then we're going to turn to the exciting details of student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven. And then the exciting elements of that COLA raise. Fifth stimulus coming up in January. You need that as well, more. And then, of course, the excitement of frame wars. Those details and more coming up in the second half of this video. I'm excited you're here. We got a big, bold, breaking news second half. Stay with me, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on a big, bold afternoon's second half. The House deal is going to be done, and that vote is happening, and away we go. Very exciting details across the board, as that vote will solidify and pass your wonderful $2 trillion recon, with or without the Congressional Budget Office report. These programs will pay you a fortune, upwards of $15,000 across all these incredible programs. That's $15,000 of checks to you. Student loan debt forgiveness is heating up as well, and that is fifth stimulus, and that comes up by executive order, but get ready for fifth stimulus right behind that. That would be that COLA raise, followed by the raise of your benefits 2 more times thereafter. But the big news is that you can get your bills paid right now, and in the second half, we're going to go over the $45,000 on average the viewers are getting from third stimulus. It's a big second half. I'm excited you're here, and this, my friends, is LA. So with that, subscribe. For 400,000 subscribers and a YouTube record of 150 million views. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Join me next on Evenings LA at 5 p.m. We got a big show tonight, and then we got shows at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 o'clock tonight. Well, away we go. Here we go into the excitement, and it starts right now. That House vote will be happening in your wonderful reconciliation fourth stimulus recon this week. The recon vote was solidified by agreement between the moderate Democrats and the progressive Democrats over 2 weeks ago. And the agreement was that they would vote on the recon and pass the recon, pass it week categorically with a yes, no later than the week of November 15th. That is where we are right now. And that vote will be happening. The vote could happen today, but it's likely to happen at about midnight Thursday night, because you know Nancy loves that hour of the day. Well, that will be with or without the Congressional Budget Office report. New statements from the moderate Democrats say, we're not going to really worry about the Congressional Budget Office report because we have the assurances of the White House, the Treasury Secretary, and other Democratic caucuses. That recon vote means that the House will be done with the recon and away to the Senate we go. But on the House bill itself, before we get to the new add-ons on the Senate side, we're starting with a lot of money, enormous amount of money. On average, about $15,000 of checks in this fourth stimulus recon. Are there checks in the recon? There are. About $15,000 of them, and I'm going to show you how to get them right now. The first incredible check in this fourth stimulus recon is the paid leave and family leave. What does this mean? You have to stay home from work because of death, illness, or birth of a child in the household. Now, that's not COVID related, first of all. And number two, if you don't work, doesn't matter. If someone else in your household works, they get the money. So you need to learn the information to impart it to them. For example, let's say you live with your son and daughter, and they take you to the doctor's appointment every week. They're going to get paid for that starting right now. So let me go over the details of this. How much does it pay? A fortune. $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. $400 a week if you make $15,000 a year. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks a year. Whoa, that is a lot of money. It is. It's upwards of $5,000, $6,000 on the high end. And then finally, who's eligible? Everyone. That is what's so wonderful about it. Whether you make $200,000 a year or you make $10,000 a year, you're eligible for it. W-2, 1099, all types of workers across the board. The second wonderful check they got in there is the SALT. SALT is a tax deduction. And what is it? When you go to your federal tax return every year, you can deduct what you paid in state taxes, but you can only deduct up to a certain amount. Let's say you make $15,000. You pay $15,000 of taxes on that state tax return. You can only deduct up to $10,000 under the Trump 2017 Tax Reform Act. Now, under the Great Recon, this fourth stimulus recon, you will be able to deduct up to $72,500 of what you pay in state and local taxes on your federal tax return. They put $40 billion of free job training in there, very important, especially for my seniors, because guess what? Under fifth stimulus, they're going to add a provision in there that says you can go back to work and no longer lose benefits. So if you want to do part-time because you're sort of bored, you can, and they will give you free job training. Here comes a Medicaid gap fix, a big win for a lot of viewers. They always ask me about the cheaper medication, cheaper insurance, and here it goes. It's those 12 Republican holdout states that would not pay for Obamacare. Now the Democrats have a workaround plan. The workaround plan is to provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income, uninsured people in those states. Wow. Which brings us to the best provision in this entire recon, and that is housing assistance. Housing assistance in the fourth stimulus recon is $150 billion for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, home repairs, weatherize your home, and the first-time home purchase. Now, sound like something we've heard from third stimulus? It is. Third stimulus, $47 billion for the housing. Fourth stimulus, $150 billion. The great news is you do not need to wait around for fourth stimulus to become a law, because you can get third stimulus money right now. And we're going to go to that right now. Third stimulus has paid viewers on average from this channel $45,000. So you should get that money right now. If you've gotten some of this money before, get some more of the money. And if you've never gotten any of this money, get the money starting today. I'm excited you're here. Get that pen and paper ready. We're going to get this money starting right now. What is this money for? Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance. Then we're also going to cover food, clothing, homeless people in the shelters, holiday meals, and similar things like that, small appliances. We got a lot of information, and it is available right now. Before going into the details, here's what you need to know. You qualify. You qualify. There's nothing that disqualifies you based upon the state, the city, the county, your age, your disabilities, your not disabilities, you're married, you're not married, you have kids, you're not to have kids. You qualify. Pick up the phone and call. All right, you're ready with the pen and paper. We're going to start with the rent. Rent pays a fortune. It was 3 months ago that the average viewer of this channel got $20,000 to $30,000 for rent. Here are some of the numbers that people got from the rent at the time. The rent has now grown to nearly $40,000 in just a short period of time. See Nisi, she was in the live chat yesterday. She got $20,000 of rent. She's a little bit under the graphic, under the word Richard there. Well, now the rent has gone to $40,000. Why has it grown? For several reasons. One, viewers have gotten more used to getting this money, so they're more sophisticated in doing it. Number two, you get multiple rounds. So Nisi, who's in the live chat, I was saying, Nisi, go get some more money. Thank you for the super chat yesterday, especially Nisi. But go get more money. You can get another round. You can get 2-3 rounds. Keep on getting this rent. All right, where do you get it? How do you get it? Get ready. Here we go. You're going to reach out to 6 places. It's important that you must, MUST, reach out to all 6 places. Do not reach out to one. Reach out to all 6. Each has different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the other ones. Here are the things you need to do. You're going to reach out to the following 6 places: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, and State Housing Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage utility assistance because of COVID. Here's some important reminders. Number 1, do not reach out to one place and stop because they said no. That's not how you do it. You reach out to all 6. Then, if you have an issue, reach out to the nonprofits that are coming up in a second. Number 2, get multiple applications on file. Don't file at one place and call it a day. Get applications on file in multiple places. Number 3, get funded by multiple places. You don't have to just get funded for rent from only one location. You can get funded for rent from multiple locations. And number 4, get multiple rounds of this money. So if you got this money before, get multiple rounds. You do the same thing for mortgage assistance. Let's go over to utilities. Here we go for utilities. Utilities is paying out a lot. This was the graphic about 3 months ago. It's now grown to $15,000 about a month ago, Mark's brother-in-law. But what's important to understand is that the utilities will go even higher. 49% is the now inflationary rate of heating oil. So heating oil has gone up 49% year to date. Expect utility numbers to go up higher. So get big sums of utilities. This is all utilities. Don't get one, get all of them. Remember, when you're getting rent to utilities and all these sums of money, you're getting backwards and forwards. So you're going to go as far forward as you can. Remember, you do not have to be behind on the bills. Do not say that there's nothing in your state. That is a DNQ. Next, SNAP. You want to get lots of food because you love food. Why are you paying for your own food? You shouldn't. You should be getting on Snap. Snap is easy to get on. It's been the biggest legacy of this channel. I think I probably gotten viewers, I don't know, over $10, $20 million of Snap. I got Mark's brother-in-law alone at $25,000 a year. That's $250,000 over the next 10 years. How do you get Snap? From Department of Agriculture. Reach out to Department of Agriculture. And Mark's brother-in-law did, because guess what? Everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime starting last month. Next, get combo items. Get as many combo items as you can. Notice this graphic. At the time I made this graphic, Nisi got 3 items, Mark got 2, Nancy got 3. Mark got 2, and I said, Mark, you did really well with 2 at 32,000. I said, why didn't you haven't gotten the 3rd? And at the time, it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Well, Mark really, really impressed us all. What did he do? He went from 2 items at 32,000 to then 4 items at 50,000. Today, he is now several items more, and he's over 100,000. Imagine he went from 32,000, which is a huge achievement, all the way over 100,000. Here's Lorraine. She was at 105. She's now at $120,000. I want to turn to Johnny and the important story about Johnny. He shows us so much that is so important about third stimulus. That is paying money to countless viewers across the country right now. What did Johnny do? Johnny was one of 3 viewers who started one particular week with $0. By the middle of the week, he and 2 other viewers had $45,000 from 3 or 4 items that they had gotten from this channel. But Johnny didn't stop. The other 2 people did. Johnny didn't stop at 3 or 4 items of $45,000. He continued, and by the weekend, he had gotten 7 items approved. Can you imagine? In 5 days, he got 7 items approved. Now, understand, what's important about this message is he made lots of phone calls, and that's what you need to do. He had to have made at least 15 phone calls to get 7 items approved in 5 days. He also got $80,000. $80,000 Johnny got in 5 days because of this channel. When I brought this back on hard push starting last Saturday, Immediately, the messages started coming in. One viewer said, hey, I got $500 in 24 hours from your channel. Thank you. That's what's happening. People are watching this and going out and getting the money. No time or place to sit around for stimulus. Get this money right now. Get it right now. Now, the second part of Johnny's story I really love is what happened the following week. He got that money by that Saturday, about $80,000. Next week, he reached out to his family members. Hey, I found this kid LA on the net. He's the real deal. And I just got about $80,000 in 5 days. They said, from what? Third stimulus. They said, third stimulus? That's just a $1,400 stimulus check. That's all that's in that third stimulus package. She said, no, there's other money in there. They said, how come we've never heard about this in print media, broadcast media, cable news, primetime news? How come no one's talked about it? He says they don't talk about it. He talks about it. And that's why you found LA, number 3 financial news channel in America. I'm covering the subject matter because no one else is, and that's how you and I are winning. We are covering this money. What's important to understand is that people don't realize that fourth stimulus has tons and tons and tons of checks in fourth stimulus. Third stimulus has tons and tons and tons of checks in third stimulus. They really don't care to cover this broadcast media. They rather cover what eyeshadow Chloe and Courtney are wearing tonight. And instead, I focus on this subject matter, and that is why you don't see this covered anywhere else. Stay here. Don't go anywhere else. And don't send or post or question. I read something in a print media. I read something on a search engine. No, it's all wrong. This is the money. These are real people with real results that are happening every single day, and it should be you as well. Let's turn back into third stimulus with that housing aid where we left off, fourth stimulus, where we left off with that housing aid. The great news is that $45,000 of housing aid was gotten by viewers on the third stimulus. The surprise is that those same sums of money are available under fourth stimulus. So when we say $15,000 on the third, under fourth stimulus, it's very likely you're going to get a lot more because you got that same amount of money under third. Now, what are the new programs under housing that were not under third that are in fourth? They are weatherize your home. This is for weatherizing for natural disasters, and it's likely for all types of homes. Number 2, the home repairs, a low-income community. This will likely just be a grant. As one viewer said, is that an automatic check that just lands in my bank account? No. How does IRS know you have a home? How do they know you need a repair? No, you have to go out and apply. I'm going to show you how, and you're going to get that grant. Then the home purchases, first time home purchase, single family residence, first time. And it does not appear to be any income qualification. If you never owned a home in your personal name before, then this is absolutely going to be you. And it's incredible. They got $65 per month for the child for food when they're not in school. And then we come to the big provision of this recon, the incredible deal about prescription medication. What's happening? Over 20 years ago, when Medicare rolled out, they could not negotiate the price of medication with Big Pharma. So Big Pharma charged them a lot, and they had to pay that amount. For example, insulin doses to viewers this channel has been over $1,000 a dose. Now they'll be $35 a dose. Can you imagine what happened? The president negotiated this deal, and the deal is done. It starts with 20 medications right out the door that will go under good faith negotiations with Big Pharma. And those 20 negotiated medications are the most expensive, like arthritis, cancer, and diabetes. It'll grow to 30 medications by the year 2028. And during that duration, they cannot increase more than the rate of inflation. If they do, Big Pharma is penalized, which cues up the Senate parliamentarian. We now have insight that Senate parliamentarian will start looking at this recon starting next week. She's not going to do it this week. And the first provision she may look at is that last one, the penalty provision. Pat Toomey, Republican senator, says that cannot go by recon. A penalty provision has to come out. And he also says that there's a lot of other questionable provisions in the recon he's going to tee up the Senate parliamentarian to review. Remember, she takes out a provision. She doesn't take out the money. She just takes out the provision. Also on issue, immigration reform will likely come out because she said before it can't go by a recon. And then paid leave, we'll see whether it survives across the board. What's important to understand is that while the graphic on the screen says about 15,000, we know it's going to be more because it repeats the same provisions you got fortunes under third stimulus. Imagine I've been getting people rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more since since October 2020, when it was sort of the residue of first stimulus before going into second stimulus. This rent has so much of it, this housing aid, it's going to continue you all the way into almost December 2022. But the great news is that that's before even the senators get the hand on the recon, and they're going to add a lot of other provisions in there. Bernie Sanders says the best bill since the 1960s, but there's major gaps in there, and he says he's going to add in a lot of checks to fill out those gaps. Ron Wyden, Senator Oregon, says, there's a significant amount of work to be done on the Senate side. Coons, Casey, Warren, Sanders, Warren, and Murphy all say they're adding provisions when it lands in the Senate. All right, get that pen paper ready. Time to go over some more checks for you. This is where information's king. And we're going to start with the checks for the universal pre-kindergarten, 1 year front-end checks, 3 to 4 year olds. Child care credit, back-end check. The earned income tax credit for essential workers, back-end check, all for 1 year. Then the CTC, the child tax credit, $3,600 or $3,000 front-end check. The hearing services likely will be a voucher check in the mail for that hearing aid, but the home health care may be a covered benefit. We went over the rent and the housing. Then also we went over the $550 check for the Pell Grant recipients and the $65 for the food for the student. But what other provisions could Bernie put in or is vowing to put in on the Senate side? In addition to that MSC, he's vowing to put in their dental, vision, and lowering the medical eligibility age for Medicare. Let's go over those provisions right now. First, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. Where's it right now? It's 65. Bob Casey, who got that other provision in this recon, wants to drop it to 60. Bernie wants to drop it to 55. We will see. Then dental. Dental was last on this recon as a wonderful $850 check, but not enough because it doesn't cover most procedures. Bernie wants it 10 years of full benefits, at least 3 years of full benefits. So we'll see if he gets it a little bit more than, if he gets it bigger than just a check. Which then tees us up for vision. Vision has been a big battleground on this channel because Bernie wants a new pair of frames and a new prescription per year. And I said, oh, well, prescription, you go to Costco, that's $50, approximately a pair of frames, $100, $150, set it out, very easy. And as soon as I set that, it caused a certain conundrum, and it was frame wars. Frame wars. When one viewer in the live chat said, my daughter buys me these beautiful frames for $450, just the frames. And I said, Medicare does not shop at Fendi. It does not go to Gucci. This is not the House of Gucci, and I'm not nominated for an Oscar. But needless to say, Frame Wars episode 3 heated up today because on social media, the comments kept on coming in. One viewer on social media said, I get frames and I get an eye exam and I get bifold glasses because I need a special type of glass and I need a certain type of color. I like a particular color for the frame. And then I like it like a little bit of LED light on the side. And I like a little bit of a cat logo. And it's $1,000. Like $1,000. Okay, so we've gone from $450 on episode 2 for Frame Wars to now $1,000 for a frame. What is my opinion of the situation? Let's take a look and let's see what the critics are saying about Frame Wars. And there you go, Frame Wars. You're not getting $450 of frames. I'm sorry. But in tomorrow's episode, we will see if the battle on social media over Frame Wars brings us from $400 900 to now, maybe it'll be at $2,000 in tomorrow's episode. I have no idea, but people are taking very serious note about their frames. And one person literally said, Bernie, get those frames in there. There need to be $1,000 frames per year. Yeah, reoccurring, go on social media and advocate for MSF, multiple sexy frames per year. So there we go. Let's turn back to the other provisions of this recon that particularly don't make sense in addition to $1,000 frames. And those provisions are some of these sort of payouts. They're sort of strange across the board. When we look at some of these payouts, they're just sort of weird what's going on. One of them is the following. For the CTC, I show it at $60,000 or less. I don't show it as $150,000 earned income credit per household. And then we have the housing aid. I showed 175, a bigger package than the Democratic legislation shows. In-home healthcare, I showed $100, $200 billion. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's turn over to the exciting details of that student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven, and those more debt would be by executive order. The president has proposed $10,000 of student loan debt to be forgiven by executive order. Democrats should take it. He's not budging on that number. He previously forgave student loan debts for people who became disabled, people who went to work in the nonprofit sector, and people who went to work in the public sector after graduation. Democrats should take it and go with it and then come back and ask for more money next year. COLA raise 5.9%. Your benefits are going up next year 5.9%. And that is good, but it's not enough. That's why you need fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus is the reform system that raises people's benefits up if they're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. What is COLA? It's a benchmark. It's called cost of living adjustment, and it's horrible. It doesn't move, and it left you behind, keeping your benefits too low and not increasing them pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and now after the pandemic. So what are they going to do? They're first going to raise your benefits up one big time. Then they're going to move the asset cap. They're going to raise your benefits up one big time. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation, which is applied every December of every year, not this year, but next year, and continuing thereafter. So that means you're going to get 5.9% raise up in January 1st. Then, when this stimulus becomes law, they would raise you up again. And then in December of next year, you'll be raised up a third time. 3 raises in 1 year. You're potentially looking at 5.9% plus maybe 3 plus 3% on top of that. It's huge. They're going to remove the asset cap and remove the income cap and remove the marriage penalty. This is why this stimulus is so important. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? The membership link is under the video. You want to get that newsletter, which comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system, which is totally free, by the way. That's also in the link to the subscription. The newsletter features all the big money for you to get right off the board right now so that you get this $45,000 on average from third stimulus. The viewers who have won with big numbers like Nisi, Mark, Johnny, Lorraine did it themselves. They became members, they read the information, they made the phone calls. What's in that newsletter? It features first the 6 places to reach out to. Those words to say. The Treasury allocation of $13 billion that has now been sent out for rent. You want to read that before you make the phone call so you know about what this money is. It features the 5 nonprofits and the other sums of things that those nonprofits do. Learn from that newsletter about the big sums of money so you can get your bills paid right now. And with that, that tees us up to a big final commentary of today's video. And my commentary of today's video involves a little bit of a mixture of a couple things. DNQ, Joe Manchin, Joe Biden, and the vote. DNQ, I introduced DNQ yesterday. I thought I was going to cause a conundrum where people say, what is that? What is that? What is that? DNQ refers to people who say do not qualify. They sort of go throughout life saying they do not qualify. And I've told viewers, just zone them out. Ignore the DNQ. I'm not here to record for DNQ, and I'm not here to respond to DNQ. Who are DNQ? They're people, when they look at third stimulus that has already paid viewers out on average $45,000, they say they just don't qualify for anything. It's untrue. And they live in an altered universe, and I cannot convince them otherwise. They come up with some strange notions. I even saw someone this morning in one of the live chats saying, but I really don't qualify because I'm on my son's tax return. See, that's not how it works. You qualify for the money, and the fact that you're on someone's tax return means nothing. So they just sort of want to think that they don't qualify. What I want you to do is I want you not to be a DNQ, and I want you to learn educate yourself, and get the money. DMQs will be left behind. They always are left behind because they don't do anything except convince themselves that there's nothing for themselves. And then that they will be left behind. People who learn, people get the information, who people apply the information win. And that is what you do. Next, fascinating report out today that said in the state of West Virginia, which I had never known, is the second poorest state in the United States. Joe Manchin's approval ratings has gone up astronomically in the last 2 months. Yes, you heard me right. His approval ratings have gone up astronomically in the last 2 months. They go to the markets, they go to the stores, and they say they're furious about inflation, so they're very furious at Joe Biden, and they're happy for Joe Manchin. Very, very interesting approach to how people rationalize things. And that is why you can't make everyone happy, and I can never ever make everyone happy. 17% poverty level in West Virginia, one of the worst poverty levels in the country. And you would think that if you have such a bad poverty level, people would want more government assistance, like more stimulus checks, like more rent or food or utilities. No, they think the reverse, according to new polls, that they don't want the assistance, that the assistance causing inflation, and that they can't buy the milk. Very sort of weird. Very, very, I know it sounds sort of circular. You don't have money to buy milk, but you don't want to get government assistance because then the milk will go up. Very, very confusing situation. So very elaborate across the board. Next, what's important to understand is that the president's approval ratings continue to drop. And I think that if someone's approval ratings usually drop, then you understand you got to get stuff done. And you saw, did you see? I said, you saw it. I paused. I said, maybe you didn't see it. I don't think I saw it. Did you see the pageantry of signing in the roads and bridges? Probably not. It didn't get much coverage at all. The president held that pageantry of signing in the roads and bridges for several days when he could have signed it last week, and didn't get much of an interest of it. Why? It doesn't benefit people's pockets. We're going in the holidays, and you know what happens on the holidays. People want money in their pocket. And what I can do for that is I can do third stimulus. I can do third stimulus. The president, however, has the pressure of lower polls, so maybe he will get this fourth stimulus moving faster in the Senate. It doesn't behoove him to have any slow pace involved at whatsoever. Now, finally, the refocusing. I'm very, very happy for you because I have seen you learn and educate and really push and push. What have you saw? That you have bills. You have bills around the house. And you found me, or you're known of this channel, and you said, wait a second, I did not know I can get those bills paid from watching LATE's shows. I'm going to get those bills paid. You have certain bills, and many of them I can get paid. Several of them I cannot get paid for you. I cannot get your car repaired. I cannot get your roof or your major home repairs repaired. But I can get the other bills paid. And if you have 20 bills in a given month and I can get 7 of them paid, then that helps the other bills, which I can't do. I can't do the car, but I can do the food. I can't do the roof, but I can do the utilities and the rent. And the more bills you get paid, the better you are going forward. Moreover, when you do this, you don't get the bills just paid up, you get the bills paid into the future. So, for example, let's use Tyrone, who got for his family of 4 in Boston a year ago, this month approximately. He got them $15,000 of rent, carrying them all the way into the spring. So he knew month to month going forward, he wouldn't have to pay that bill. That bill was picked up for something. What's important to understand is you can get multiple rounds of this money. You get the money paid for in different sources across the board. Ultimately, I love the reaction that viewers have gotten. The commentary, the positive message, the encouragement, and the inspiration. Number one, I'm loving seeing people say, I just got money again. I just got $300, $400, $500. Every few days, $300 or $400 helps. Keep on doing that. Send me private messages about your success stories. Number two, I love that people are in the live chat posting their success stories. It inspires other people because it's contagious. You see someone getting 300, 400, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000. You say, wait a second, they got it. I should get it. That's why I put the graphics up there. I want you to see, bam, these people are getting money. Did you get the money? It's not peer pressure, but it's also sort of like a little bit of a push. It's a little bit like someone pushing on your back saying, come on, pick up the phone. You called your sister yesterday and talked for an hour about that reality TV show that you saw on Fox. Now spend a little bit of time on picking up the phone and calling and get this money. Remember, the reason why I love Johnny's story is not so much just the 80,000, not so much that he made his family members go from disbelievers to believers, getting $50,000 the next week from watching this channel. It's because of Johnny's calling to so many places. He had to have called 15 places to get approved for 7,000, to get approved for 7 programs in 5 days. It's mirrored by Mark's story, because Mark's story shows someone who heard and continue to hear what I said on camera. I have one, I'm going to say it. I have one person on social media. I recognize the name. This is a person who got rent in 2020 in New York. And then what happened was, sort of disappeared and just got one item. And not a particularly nice person whatsoever, just treated the volunteers horribly, and got the rent. And now she's back tweeting about MSC. And I'm thinking to myself, what do you need help with? I don't want to ask her, but what do you need help with? Rent? Because you can get rent again. You can get utilities again. The person probably got one item last year and called it quits. That's not how you do it. And that's why I love Mark's story. It's so incredible. I mean, he got 2 items at $32,000, which is a huge amount of money for 2 items. It really is. But then when he heard me say on camera, when I addressed him directly, I said, Mark, go get a 3rd item. He got a 3rd item. And that 3rd item was Snap at the time. It was $19,000, but it's more money now because it went up. It brought him to $50,000. But Mark went back and got more money. He got $100,000. You know what I also like about Mark is he sends me messages so sporadically, say, hey, LA, that one item. Can I get that one item? Can I get this other item? He wants the information. He wants to apply the information. He wants to get the money. He is not sitting back and saying, give me a volunteer to get some money to pick it off a tree. Give me a volunteer to go get me some free money. No. He is wanting the information to apply it himself. If you can pick up the phone, you can do this. If you're on the cell phone watching me, you can do this. I have complete confidence in you. And the great news is there's absolutely enormous sums of money under third stimulus. We never know when they pass these packages how far $47 billion would span. It spanned a long time. And with that, I look forward to seeing you next on Evening Daylight. It's coming up right next after this show. It's a big show tonight. And then we got shows at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 o'clock tonight. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000 to 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.